Hi there, it's Cheryl Richardson. How are you? I'm here for this week's Facebook Live on Giving Tuesday. It's November 27th, right? We had Thanksgiving here in the States last week, last week. And yesterday was Cyber Monday, where everybody goes crazy and buys gifts and items on the internet. And then today, the focus is on giving. And that's part of what I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes as people join. Hi, Terry. Thanks for being here. And John, welcome to you. And hi, Kathy. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Um, and Marissa from Sweden, welcome to you. Glad that you're here. Hi, Teresa. Welcome. Welcome. And Sheila, thank you. Sheila, thank you for the beautiful CD that you sent me. I just got it today, and I look forward to listening to your poetry. Thank you for that. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to you. And Jess, welcome. I'm so glad that you're all here with me today. And I have something really important that I want to tell you about. And it's fitting for today. As a matter of fact, I wanted to tell you about it a couple weeks ago on my birthday. I had spent the day just enjoying the day, enjoying nature, just not having much to do, living sort of spontaneously on my birthday. It was November 15th. And at right about, I don't know, right when I was going to do a Facebook Live, a spontaneous Facebook Live. And it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a little bit before 4 o'clock. And the sun was just setting, just about to set. And I looked out in the backyard, and for the first time in months, maybe even a year, there were 8 deer in the backyard in the field. They were eating the grass in the field and also eating some of the grass in our lawn. And I was so excited, and I thought, oh, this is the perfect, what I planned to do. This was like the perfect way to start the Facebook Live. I was going to start by showing you the deer in the backyard um, munching on the grass, and my internet went down right in that moment. And so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do my Facebook Live, and I was so bummed. And here's why: because um, you all know, if you've been following me for a while, and if you haven't, welcome. I appreciate you being here with me. If you're new to me, I'm an author. I've written lots of books about work-life balance and self-care, and my most recent book is called Waking Up in Winter: In Search of What Really Matters at Midlife. And one of the things that really matters to me in midlife is to no longer just give lip service to, well, that's not really true, because I don't really give lip service to this, but no longer just say that things like nature and animals and peace and time, time to myself and time with loved ones, and just living a more sane paced life. Not only are those things important, and do I think about them as being important, or say that they're important, or tell other people they're important, but I've really begun to integrate the truth of that into my life. So for the longest time, for example, and think about this in terms of your own life, I've said that my health was really important to me, and yet it would I'd always put work as a priority over going to the gym. If I had scheduled myself to go to the gym, but an important project came up, or some work related item or commitment, I would do that over going to the gym. Or I would say that I wanted to go for a walk outside, but it always seemed like, oh, I was too busy. Yeah, I'll get to that tomorrow. And then it wouldn't happen. Or I would say how much I loved sitting on the back deck in the spring or the summer and watching the birds, or having bird feeders and being able to watch the birds. I would talk about that being important to me and the fact that I wanted to do it, but I didn't actually do it. And so I would say that in the last couple of years in particular, I have really sort of systematically dismantled the life that the life where I talked about the things that were important to me, but didn't really put action behind that, and begin to put action behind it. And so I'm fortunate, I'm also hardworking, and I've spent a lot of years working very, very hard, writing and traveling and teaching and doing lots of media and things like that. and I just, I've lived a pretty amazing life. And at this point, the kinds of things that feel just as nurturing and fulfilling and satisfying are different, like having time to go to the gym, spending time in nature, going for walks, making that a priority, and honoring animals and birds, which are deeply important to me. As a lot of you know, if you've been following me, you hear me talk about it all the time. And I'm always posting pictures on Instagram and Facebook here, animals, of animals and birds and all of the different beautiful beings that I find, um, that I share my life with. So anyway, about probably 2 years ago, I started getting newsletters from a place called Center for Wildlife in Cape Neddick, Maine. It's just outside of York, Maine, where we hold the Self Care by the Sea retreats. And there are these wonderful newsletters. I have one right here. Well, this is sort of, yeah. There's these wonderful newsletters that would talk about what was going on at the center. They had like lots of just pictures of just different animal stories. You can see them, kids holding animals and different wildlife that had been brought into the center that was injured wildlife that were being healed and returned to nature, and abandoned wildlife, animals and birds that were, being given a chance at growing up enough that they could then be returned to returned to their original habitat. And I loved the stories, and I loved what these people were doing, and I began to follow them. And then one fall, there was a goose, a Canadian goose, that had a broken wing in our backyard, well, down by the reservoir near our backyard. And when all the other geese were taking off, particularly around the winter when they were migrating somewhere not that far away, this particular goose wasn't able to fly. And it was heartbreaking to see this bird down, knowing that the winter was coming, a harsh winter was coming. And there were some friends in my neighborhood, Sue, who lives around the corner from me, who loves animals like I do, and Dick, our postman, who also, he was our mailman at the time, and he loved animals, and we all would like feed the goose and, try to really take care of him. And it was the Center for Wildlife. When I called them and talked to them about what was going on and how upset we were, they knew exactly what to do, and they were able to really give us the kind of guidance we needed to do the best thing for the goose. And since then, they've provided lots of great information. Anyway, I just fell in love with the place, and I started going up. I had a tour. I met the executive director, Kristen Lamb, and I got to know their leadership team, and I saw what they were doing to take care of wildlife. Not only were they taking in injured animals and abandoned animals, but they were also training. They had intern programs that were training, vet techs and future wildlife rehabilitators and conservationists and rangers. And, they've trained people that go on to work in national parks throughout the United States. And they've done over 300 programs. I think last year it was 375 educational programs for kids in the community, teaching people about wildlife and nature. And, they take in, I think, almost 2,500 animals a year, animals and birds. And they do their very best to return them to wildlife when they can, when it will be safe for the animal or the bird to be returned. I started doing some work with the leadership team there so that I could really get to know them and get a sense of how they think and how they operate the Wildlife Center. And I learned about this exciting project that they have right now. These people, I think there's 80 volunteers, 12 paid staff, and they work in a ranch house that's about, I think it's 1,200 square feet. So it's not a lot of space. And they take care of 2,500 animals and birds a year in this small space. And I've been in this space many times. Well, I was excited to discover that they're building a $4 million wildlife center it's an eco-friendly wildlife center that will not only provide care for wildlife, animals and birds, both injured and abandoned, but will start to educate people about the environment, protecting land, protecting forests, protecting animals and birds, educating children and adults. It'll create they'll have a hands-on interactive learning center where kids and vet techs and conservationists and rangers and members of the community, interns, volunteers will be able to learn about wildlife, learn about the environment, learn how to take care of animals and birds, and be trained in important professions that will serve what matters most to me, which is animals and land, the environment. So Michael and I decided that we really wanted to support their effort, and we have made a $10,000 donation to begin. And we are, in doing that, it's a $10,000 matching donation where we're going to sponsor the learning lab for the new wildlife center that's being built. The good news is they just received the last of their permits, and within, I think, the next 30 days, they're going to be breaking ground, clearing the land in the most environmentally protected way, a way that protects birds and animals. And Michael and I decided that we wanted to support them in raising money. They've raised half of the $4 million already. So we decided we'd make a $10,000 donation, and we would offer to match up to $10,000 worth of donations. And that's where I'm going to invite you and friends and family, everyone I know. This year I said for my birthday and for Christmas, I don't want any gifts. I just want people to make a donation to the Center for Wildlife so that we can get this center up and running. So it's really exciting to me. It's really important. The center, this beautiful place. Let me see if I can show you a picture. Let's see if you can see this. This gorgeous place. Can you see this? Let's see. As long as the light doesn't get in the way. Yeah, this beautiful, beautiful place. There we go. That's a good, yeah, conservation campus. And this gorgeous place will open in 2020. So they're ready to begin construction, and I'm really excited about it. So we're going to start with our $10,000 donation. We'll match up to that. So the goal is to raise $20,000, of course, with that donation. And I would love it if you happen to be somebody who likes to give back and cares about wildlife and cares about the planet, cares about the environment like I do, then whether it's $1 or $100 or $1,000 or $100,000, every penny counts, and it really helps to get this center up and running so that it can support not only the local community but support wildlife rehabilitators and environmental professionals all over the country. So I'm going to include in here the link where you can donate. I'll just include that link, and you'll be able to click right through and make a donation, and that would be wonderful. And if you could share it with friends and family who love the environment and love animals and wildlife as much as you do, that would be great as well. And you'll hear about, every now and then you can find some videos actually on Facebook here where we talk about where I've been to the Center for Wildlife, and I've visited with a turkey vulture and a porcupine and owls and all kinds of animals. I'm also going to include a link to a really important video that the Center for Wildlife has done. It's only like a 5-minute video, and I'm in the video at the end, but more importantly, at the very end is a very important guest that will go on, remain unnamed. It'll be a surprise for you at the end. You'll see probably one of the most important, let's say, what do I want to say? One of the most important inhabitants of the Wildlife Center is at the end of the video. So I'll include that link as well. So let me say hi to some people here. Hi, Bonnie and Janine and Tess, welcome. Glad that you're here. Erica, welcome to you too. And John, Danielle, welcome. Danielle, what was the book that you wrote about loving yourself? Well, there's a lot of books that I wrote about loving yourself, but The Art of Extreme Self-Care would probably be a really good practical one for you. Thank you, Marie Carmen, for the birthday wish. I really appreciate it. And hi, Rachel. Welcome to you. Thank you, Sheila. And Vanessa, welcome. And Erica, glad that you're here. And Teresa and Sheila, I said hello to you before I know. Anne Marie and Nanette, welcome to you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you all are excited about the center. I'm just so excited about it. And it's important, I think. I mean, it's important to both Michael and I to not only talk about the things that are important to us, but to put our money and our time and our energy and everything we can into supporting the organizations that really mean something to us and that are doing good work in the world. And I can tell you that the people at the Center for Wildlife that are running this organization, the volunteers, the staff, the medical staff, they are just such a wonderful, wonderful group of men and women who really are so deeply dedicated. Many of them have been with the center for a long time, which tells you something about an organization. And they're so excited about this new center. It's going to be awesome. I mean, it's just going to be awesome. And I hope that all of you can come and visit when it gets up and running in just a short amount of time, and within about a year or so, year and a half. It should be, as long as they can raise the money, it should be all set. And we're on the right track. We're making really great progress. So again, I hope that you'll do whatever you can to support the center. That would be wonderful. Hey, Annette Marie, welcome to you. Your sis-in-law, Ashley. Oh my God, I love Ashley. Would you please give her a hug and a kiss for me? Ashley was my very, very first literary agent. She's the person who sold Take Time for Your Life to Broadway books, and we have some of the most amazing stories in that together, and I love her dearly. And she loves animals and the wildlife like I do. So be sure, please, to tell her about this project. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so Kathy says, we'll send love and prayers for the animals and land, for it to be cleared, blessed, and protected. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. So excited. It's located in Maine, just like within 5 miles from where we hold our Self-Care by the Sea retreat, just outside of York, Maine. And I will absolutely share the link with people. I'll put a direct link, and I'll also put a link to the video. Please watch the video. It's really important. It's a great video about the center and what they're doing, and you can meet some of the people that work there and some of the people that live there. Anyway, thanks. Terry's got the link in there right now too. That's terrific. Hi, Scott. I'm glad you're here. And Elena, I'm glad you're here too. And Victoria, welcome to you. You have a center like that, the Willowbrook Wildlife Center. That's awesome. I know, aren't they great? You can go to the Center for Wildlife and take tours. If you all live near me, I'd take one big group tour up there to show you the place and introduce you to the animals and the birds. They're amazing. And yeah, it's wonderful. Vanessa says so many devoted people caring for animals and charities around the world. It's true. When I hear stories about animals, like the poor animals dealing with the fires in California and all over the country, or the floods or whatever, I always try and focus on the fact that there are amazing people doing such good work in the world, taking care of animals, that, it's so easy to focus on the animals that aren't being taken care of, especially those of us who have, a strong sense of empathy. But it's important that we also focus on the animals who are being taken care of by really dedicated, wonderful human beings who really care. Yeah, Kathy says, if we don't take care of the wildlife around us, there's not much hope. Here's why that's important, Kathy, and I've learned this from my involvement with the Center for Wildlife. Animals and birds are often the first line of sort of defense and information against, for the effects of the environment on humans. There have been birds that have showed signs of certain diseases first, that then ultimately would impact human life if we hadn't found it in the animals or the birds first and begun to really study the certain diseases. So, they're the ones that are drinking the water and eating I was going to say eating the land, but eating plants, and so they're the ones that are really they're sort of the keepers of the. They take the temperature, essentially, the sort of the health related temperature of our environment, and they tell us based on what happens to them what eventually could happen to us. And so it's so important that we take care of wildlife. And plus we've got one place to live together, people, and that's here on the planet. And already so much of our food is polluted and our water is polluted. I don't care what you believe about the environment. I don't even like to use the phrase climate change because to me, it doesn't take um, it doesn't take much to recognize that the food that we eat, we have to be careful of mercury levels in fish and chemical levels and the if you're eating meat, the amount of chemicals and antibiotics and hormones. I mean, we just haven't done a very good job of taking care of the planet and its beautiful inhabitants that rely on us to that rely on us to take care of them. So this is my small way of doing that. And as I grow older and wiser, I am more committed than anything else to just making an important contribution to the world. And so making an important contribution to the things that matter to me. Both Michael and I care about wildlife and we care about the earth. So yeah, we need to take care of the wildlife around us, and that's what we're doing. Um, Doreen wants to know, she says, I live in Maine. Is this part of York's Wild Kingdom? No, it's not. It's the Center for Wildlife in Cape Nettic, which is right next to York, Maine. So, yeah, it's a beautiful place, Julie. Maine is just a beautiful place. And if you have been to York's Wild Kingdom, Doreen, I would encourage you to contact the Center for Wildlife. You'll see the link, and you'll see a link to a video in this post when we're done here, and you'll be able to learn all about them. And you can go and take a tour at any time. They have ambassador animals and birds. In other words, animals that were rescued and weren't able to be returned to the wild for numerous reasons. It might be a physical issue that where they would just be, preyed upon by other animals or birds. Or sometimes people, for example, will find a turtle, they'll bring it home, they'll make it a pet. So they build, they create I forget what you call it, but they essentially create a kind of human relationship with the animal, which means they can't be returned to the wild because they can't fend for themselves. So they have ambassador animals at the Center for Wildlife, and you can go and you can see things like crows and raptors and incredibly beautiful owls. And like I said, a turkey vulture and porcupines. Like I had no idea that porcupines don't shoot their quills. Did you know that? No. The reason that, for example, other animals like dogs wind up with quills in them is because they touch the animal and they get stuck by the quills. So you learn all kinds of really great things there. So it's a wonderful place to visit. Um, let's see. Yeah, Elena says, like when there's been an earthquake, the birds stop singing. And it's only safe to go back inside when they start singing. They do. The more you love wildlife, the more you begin to essentially open a line of communication between us and birds and animals. It's really quite amazing and quite powerful. Um, hi, Greg. I'm glad to see you here. Greg says, Mr. Rogers' mother used to tell him to look for the helpers. That's true. So rewarding to nurture our environment and the beings we share it with. That's right. Did you all see that wonderful documentary on Mr. Rogers? Oh, it is just what an incredible human being that man was and is. His energy still lives. It's so worth seeing. Please, please, check out that documentary about Mr. Rogers. I'm sure you can find it, I think, on Netflix or Amazon. It would be awesome to see it. You'd love it. Kathy, you don't have to call ahead of time, although I would call ahead of time in the winter. In the summer, you really don't, in the spring and the summer, but I would do so just to be sure. I think they also do some, I don't know if their holiday bazaar has already happened. It may have happened last weekend, I think. But yeah, you can call. You'll find their number right when I leave the link, when I post the link here. So anyway, again, Michael and I are making a $10,000 matching donation. So every single dollar you donate, we will match it up to $10,000. And I'm so happy to be able to do that. We're excited about the new Center for Wildlife, this beautiful, gorgeous environmental center that's going to educate children and adults and interns and volunteers and vet techs and biologists and rangers. I mean, you name it. So it's going to do a lot of good, not only for our community in, northern New England, but communities around the country who will benefit from some of the professionals that will be trained there. So I hope you'll join me, and I hope you'll just take 5 minutes to watch the video. Just give me a few minutes for this to upload and for me to get everything posted in, and then you'll be able to see the video and you'll know exactly where to donate. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being a part of my community. I appreciate so much your willingness to support this cause that's near and dear to my heart and so important for all of us. And I will look forward to talking with you next week. Next week, we'll do a coaching Facebook Live, so I'll be able to answer your questions. Okay? All right, everybody. Happy holidays. Remember, take good care of yourself during the holidays. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Take good care. Bye.